Hey everybody, Catbird here again. I decided to put together a brief post with some of the most common questions that I get from friends and family. I figured maybe you might like to hear those, or maybe you have some others, and if you do, post them in the comments at the end. So, without further ado, the most common questions I get. How many miles is the Appalachian Trail? Well, the Appalachian Trail in 2020 is going to be 2,193 miles. It changes a little bit each year. And how long does that take? Well, the average hiker who completes the Appalachian Trail does it in about 165 days. I hope to make it a little bit shorter than that, but I don't know if that's realistic or not. How do you handle personal hygiene? Well, this one is not really a very fun question, but the reality of it is that it's not easy to handle personal hygiene. The most common thing is to brush your teeth, and if you can get a shower every couple weeks, that's not so bad. Washing clothes is another difficult thing. When you're in town or maybe at a hostel, you might be able to run your clothes through the laundry, but it's not going to happen every day. Where do you sleep? Well, there are a few options, the most common of which are the shelters or sleeping in a tent. Some people will sleep in hostels, but those aren't available every night. You might only have a hostel every several miles. So shelters are the more common place for people to sleep. But when you have 60 people sleeping around a shelter, not everybody's going to fit in the shelter. I'll probably plan on sleeping primarily in my tent. How many changes of clothes will I take? Well, I'm not going to take any changes of clothes. I will have an extra pair of underwear and 2 extra pairs of socks, and also some sleeping clothes. But outside of that, the only thing that I'll have are the clothes on my body and then wet weather gear and cold weather gear. Where will I get food and water? This is a tricky one, and it's a little different for different people. Some folks use a strategy of picking up food in town at gas stations or Dollar General, things like that, and others will mail food to themselves. I'm planning on mailing most of my food to myself, and then I'll get food at restaurants and cafes where they're available, just to give myself a little bit of variety and also to supplement. Most people carry about 5 days worth of food, and so if you can get some food at a restaurant or a cafe, you might be able to get in a lot of calories, because you really can't carry as many calories as you're going to burn hiking the number of miles that we hike in a day. How many miles do you hike in a day? Next good question. Typically, I can hike 12 miles a day now. I plan to hike up to about 16 to 20 miles per day, although for the first week or so, I only plan to hike about 8 miles per day to try to build up some endurance and really trying to prevent injury. Are you hiking alone? No one really hikes alone. There will be a bunch of people that will start the same day I start, and also a friend of mine is going to be starting at the same time. We may not hike the entire trail together, but we're at least going to start together. What percentage of people complete the trail? Well, about 25% of those who start actually complete the hike from beginning to end. Do I think I can complete it? I do. I think I'm prepared. I think I have the skills. I think I have the mental fortitude and the conditioning to do it. And I hope to just get stronger as I go. Aren't you afraid of bears? I guess I'm a little afraid of bears, but I'm not really sure that I'm going to actually run into bears that are aggressive or really overly curious about me. So no, I'm not really afraid of bears. I'm more afraid of cold, wet weather and snakes, and frankly my own mind. I think all of those things are more likely to present an actual threat to me than a bear is. How heavy is your pack? Well, my pack is going to be about 31 pounds when it's full, immediately following a resupply in town. and it will get down to about 15 to 17 pounds when it's empty, just as I'm entering town. So that's not too bad of a weight. Either way, I think 31 pounds is fairly light compared to some other hikes that I've done. I've carried 45 pounds at times, and so I feel pretty good about 31. Why do you call yourself Catbird? Well, it's customary to come up with a trail name or to be bestowed a trail name by other hikers when you hike the Appalachian Trail. And I wanted to pick a name so that I could use it when I was posting my vlogs and just be able to be consistent with it from the beginning to the end. But why Catbird in particular? That's another question. So a lot of times when I introduce people to myself, instead of hearing Ken, they hear Cat. And I'm not sure what they're hearing. Maybe I'm a little nasally, I don't know. But it happens pretty often. And so I wanted to use that in my trail name. And Catbird just seemed like a natural fit because I really enjoy singing. I'm not especially good at it, but that doesn't stop me. So I don't know, it seemed like a good fit. I think that's all the questions that I have written down here on my little piece of paper. A couple things of interest. I'm finding these videos to be kind of challenging to actually record. I recorded this video about 5 times before I decided that I just had to leave well enough alone. And so I can see that this is going to be potentially a lot of work if I try to be too precise with it. So I'm going to have to accept well enough. And I guess that's about it, really. So if you have any other questions, put them in the comments, and I'll either address them in the comments or maybe in another post. And if you would be so kind as to subscribe, that will help me get my results, my searches a little bit higher in the search results when people search for information about hiking the Appalachian Trail. And if you're able to do so, please consider donating to Hike for Mental Health. And I'll post their my fundraising link in the comments at the end. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you watching this video, and I hope you continue to follow my progress along the way. Next, I will likely post a video about my food preparations and give you a little bit of insight on what that looks like. Thanks a lot. Take care. I'll talk to you soon.